Hello Gemini, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Gemini for the middle of November. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Gemini, let's go ahead and get a shuffle in here for you. Do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for future updates from me. And as always, all of the links that I use, all of the decks that I use on my channel are linked in the description below this video. So let's go ahead and let's get everything out here. And then I'm also going to take a bunch of these. And let me make sure everything is set up and in view. And then we'll get right into it. Do hope you're doing well, Gemini. Hope things are good for you. All right. Cool. I think that looks good enough to me. Energy on the bottom. You have the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is, this is an interesting card that can indicate that potentially right now you're carrying some type of burden in your life. For some of you here, there's been a big kind of, I think for some of you, basically if this reading's for you, there's been some type of surprise that has happened here. And I think right now you're kind of working through the after effects or the afterfall, or the after effects, I should say, of whatever happened in the past. And I think that for some of you, this is showing up as a burden. Here's the thing with the Ten of Wands. It is a reminder that the universe chose you to carry this burden for a reason, and probably because it's teaching you something, but also because you have an opportunity to see it through to the end. That's why the universe chose you to carry this burden, because you can do it. Also, each one of these wands that this person is carrying represents some type of knowledge earned or experience gained along their journey. The Ten of Wands is a completion, okay? So it does say, that there could be something closing out here. Just keep that in mind when you get to the Ten of Wands. Maybe it's work related, maybe it's not. But the Suit of Wands is, associated with work, career, enterprise. So do keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and let's continue diving in here. So in the overall the current situation rather, you do have the Queen of Swords. This could be you showing up, okay? This could be any air sign. I think that this is probably you here. And what the Queen of Swords might suggest is that right now you have a deep focus on something. All right, you have a deep focus on something in your life. And I also think that what this might suggest is that you are very interested in cutting out anything that is unnecessary right now in your life. Sort of like trimming the fat with, if you will, with the Queen of Swords. The reason being is, obviously swords cut. And I think that for some of you, it's possible here that, maybe you are in fact actually taking on too many burdens. Obviously, you have the ability to handle everything, as I've stated just a second ago, but it's like if you have the option to remove burdens from your situation, then why not do that type of deal is kind of what I'm feeling here for you. I think some of you might need to actually focus on like one thing right now, and it is possible that some of you are maybe just narrowing something down here. Because it's hard to kind of manage everything is kind of what I'm feeling. Now, in the problem position, you do have the Nine of Pentacles. Now, what's very interesting here is both the Queen of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles deal with the concept of independence, okay? And so the Nine of Pentacles can talk about your financial independence. The Queen of Swords might be somebody who's single, but even if they're not single, they spend like maybe they're married or maybe they're in a relationship, they'll spend time on their own, or they prefer to kind of have their own space or have their own time. And this is the idea of pure independence. Now, as the Nine of Pentacles is in the problem position, some of you are just like potentially struggling with that idea right now, where like giving yourself space and Yeah. There might be something here around giving yourself space. There might be something that you're struggling here to connect with around your independence. Especially as you have that 10 of Wands on the bottom. It's like maybe some of you know you need to solve a problem on your own, but it's like, there's a tendency to sort of fall back to somebody else here. It's kind of a specific message, but this is something that's maybe coming in here. But the concept of independence, I think, is your sort of focus right now. Doing things on your own, solving your own problems. Something like this is the focus for you right now. And maybe if that's not resonating, it's your financial independence. If it's not just the concept of independence, it's something around financial independence specifically. Now, in the past, you have the Tower here. So this is what I was talking about. So I think if this reading is for you, you've had some type of, upheaval, shakeup, surprising situation here in your life. The Tower is the collapsing of your false beliefs, or something that might have been a false belief in your life. So if you really unpack that idea, the collapsing of false beliefs, that's actually a good thing. That's actually a blessing in disguise, because nobody wants to live in a house of cards. That's the idea of the Tower. And so nobody's saying that, I'm certainly not saying that the Tower is going to be easy. I'm not saying that the Tower is an easy thing, but I am saying that ultimately the Tower moment takes you further closer to the Star, which you have here, as the Tower is 16 and the Star is 17. And you actually have a combination that I like to see, which is the Tower and the Star together, because especially with the Tower in the back, in the past or in the background, because to me it says that the worst is behind you, first and foremost. But number two, it says that you're going to quickly bounce back from whatever upheaval here has happened. Now, in the future, you have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands does represent your need to stand your ground on something, okay? To hold firm on something, and potentially to set boundaries, or to say no, or to just, kind of draw a hard stance on something in your life. This is a card that, along with that, is connected to competition in your life, and specifically competition in the workplace. I see this come in many times when that is the case for people in the tarot. It is possible that there is some of you are taking on other people's burdens here, or you're taking on other people's energy, and that's becoming a burden for you, with the 10 of Wands on the bottom and the 7 of Wands in the future. And there's this real push, or this real pull here, I should say, this real focus here on your independence, with the Queen of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles. And so it's like when other people's energy is here, then it's sort of like it's pushing against that desire to be to maintain or to strive for independence here at this time. And this is something that I think is the main focus for you in this month, and as you go forward, if this reading is for you. Now, in your thoughts, so this is what you're aware of. This is what you're conscious of. You have the Star. So incredible card, one of my favorite cards in the tarot. The Star is all about a wish being granted to you. And, the Star would suggest that maybe you're spending time connecting with something outside of yourself. You could say that the Star is like divine consciousness, or divine connectivity, or synchronicities within the universe, reaching out to something higher or bigger than you. And you can see that this person is sort of connecting here with their third eye. They're kind of doing that. Some of you might be doing some type of spirituality or divinity or connecting to your divinity in some ways. But the Star, more importantly, is about a wish being granted to you. And it can also be about healing as well. If some of you are looking to heal something here at this time, it's certainly a nice card for that. Some of you just want to spend some time alone here with the Queen of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles and the Star. Spend some time healing, spend some time on your own. It's like some of you really are looking for that. You have the 6 of Cups in the subconscious, which is what you can't see. The 6 of Cups is something that's familiar to you. It's the feeling of home, right? It's the feeling of being home. And it's also something from the past. All right. And, I do think that this Tower moment here, it's still kind of working in the background at this time as you look at, as the Six of Cups represents the past and you have the Tower in the past here. I do think that there are memories from the past that are sort of working kind of in the background right now. And I almost feel like some of you are like, okay, it's, I almost feel like some of you are, what is the word, reminiscing at this time. Some of you are reminiscing on the way things were, or the way things, on the way things were. And this is also, I think, driving or fueling this push to be independent here. Now, in the staff, this is the direction that you are headed in your current influence, the way that you are influencing the situation. You do have the Nine of Swords, so you actually have a very good reading, but this Nine of Swords card, to me, this might be described as like suffering in silence. All right, so here's the thing. It's like, this is such an interesting reading because, the person on the Nine of Swords card is alone. And, I've talked about this entire reading about how some of you are, I think, maybe struggling with that idea at this time, struggling with this concept of with this idea of independence here. And it's maybe because in the past, the alone time that you've spent, this is very specific, okay? But this is what's coming forward, so I have to talk about it. Maybe in the past, the alone time that you've spent was not well spent. I'm not sure how else to say that, but it's like maybe, you didn't know how to handle the downtime, or maybe, you didn't use the independence that you had formed in the past wisely. And I do think that there's a chance for you to rewrite that here, okay? I think that, in fact, if you are kind of coming up to this period of time where you find yourself increasingly independent or increasingly isolated, I think that this is happening for a reason, and it's because you have an opportunity to rewrite what it means for you to be independent. Now, I do need to say that this is not a call for you to totally wipe everybody out of your contact list and never talk to anybody again, or not spend time with your family or whatever. That's not what this is about. But it's something around you, like, having this balance where you have your independence, you spend your downtime or your alone time or your independence, your time being independent wisely, and also maybe balancing that out with social connections here. Something like this is showing up. You have the Two of Swords, which, this represents, this is in the external influence, the Two of Swords in the external influence. There's something that you're blind to externally here. There's something that you're having a hard time seeing here, outside of you at this time. This might be another person. This could be an argument. This could be something that blindsides you. This could be something that you are not seeing that is happening external to you. So this could be around from the other people around you, or from maybe your work environment or something here, your outer environment here. There's something that you're simply not seeing. In the hopes and fears, you have the Four of Wands. So this is about your stability. And you can see that this is the young family here on the card. And, it's almost like, well, first and foremost, the Four of Wands is a card of marriage. It can also be about stability. And as I said, stability, structure, marriage. It can also represent a new start. And I actually think that this is more about a new start in your life here. Some of you are really hoping for this. And it's almost like I get that some of you are just kind of moving into a new sort of chapter or a new season. Like some of you are moving into a new season of your life where just things are changing for you. And the outcome here is the Fool, which is a very powerful card for me. This is the most powerful card because it starts off the tarot, right? We track the Fool's journey through the major arcana. The Fool is the hero, you are the Fool, you are the hero in the tarot. And for you, to me, this suggests that you're entering a new season of your life here. And I think part of what comes along with that is independence. And I think that this has been sort of highlighted here by some type of event that happened with the tower. Like I think that there's been a surprise or an upheaval or something that has happened, maybe even something that's shaken you to your core here, where it's like, okay, I need to maybe like look at this, right? I need to look at this idea, this concept of like how many burdens I'm carrying, like, you know, and balancing that out with my own time, my independence, and then also trying to like weave in some social stuff here. Like it's like there's like a new season here. There's a new approach or a new start to how you look at all of this. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at these three tarot cards. So you have the Three of Pentacles, you have the Empress, and you also have the Magician. So the Three of Pentacles, this is very good clarifications here. So Three of Pentacles, this could be reward and recognition for, you know, a quality job that you're doing. If some of you are stressed about a project, I think that you're going to crush it. I think you're going to do very good on this project. Like, you know, work related, I don't know, maybe you have a deliverable or something that you have for your career or your work or something. This certainly looks like it could be pretty good for you. You know, the Three of Pentacles, this is a colleague situation if it's not about a project. And so, you know, I did say that there might be a burden in that area for you. You have the Empress and the Magician, very powerful combination. The Empress is the mother archetype, but it's also a major sign of abundance in the tarot. It's the ability to see something grow. And the Magician is about manifestation or manifesting something important into your life. It also says that you have a ton of skills. You have here in the Kipper cards, you have despair, journey, adjudication, and courtship. So it's like there's something about, I just see some of you like struggling to, I see some of you struggling with this concept of independence. I'm just going to be like, it's just a totally blunt message. I feel some of you struggling with this concept of independence here. And I think that there's a reason why you're being asked to look at this right now. And it's because it's probably providing you with some sort of opportunity to level up in your life or in your situation. And so, yeah, I think you can be absolutely successful in that. But this is an interesting message. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. And I will see you in the next reading.